How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monsters. This is Season 3, Episode 11, and this one's entitled Sin Sop. It originally aired December 9th, 1990, was directed by P J Pesce, and stars Richard Borg, Christine Dunford, Christopher Bond, Charlotte Becker, and Robert Valenzi. And this is also based on a short story by Alan Bogue. Now, this is a really kind of weird and interesting episode, but somehow it all fits together and really works. I mean, the base idea is this guy has a machine that can suck away your sins. And I mean, like in real life, you do something bad, you can try to make amends and, do better in the future, but that guilt is going to kind of just sit with you. No one likes being the bad guy of the story, and what if you had a machine that could just kind of suck that out? It's an interesting base concept, but it doesn't really dwell on that. You think it would be about guilt and remorse or something like that, but instead it goes in this weird and wacky way that has like goo and slime and feels a little bit like a Goosebumps thing, maybe? Basically, you have this setup, and the set design is so weird, it's like someone made it out of stuff in their backyard, The sin extractor has a meter, and the positions on the meter are labeled with tape and Sharpie. There's a bunch of tubes that drain into a big bathtub, but the key thing, the battery of this whole thing, is the corpse of the most evil man in the world. That's crazy, that's cool, and plus there's this underlying threat that if they don't do it right, the whole machine might explode, and oh my gosh, what happens if the sin machine explodes, right? There's some good acting and some good set design in here. It is a strange little episode, and I'm not 100% sure how it works. I think it uses anthology horror tropes, it spins them in a weird and unique and different way, and it just has enough dangling questions to keep you interested. I don't know, it's not like it's some masterful thing, but it's one I really enjoyed, and it's hard to really put my finger on why. But in order to analyze it further, let's talk a bit about the plot. No major spoilers, but I do want to break down and analyze a few things. I'll be avoiding the end bits, so I'll try not to ruin anything. But without further ado, let's dive in and take a more in-depth look at the plot. We open up with this woman who comes in to a faith healer shop. Essentially, it's not exactly that, but there's a woman waiting in the lobby who is super on board and totally loves coming here, and when she sees a new person is going to say, "Oh, you just found out about this place, it's so great, I'm so glad you're here," and they talk about the guy who runs it, Brother Roy, and after a minute we see him. He's got a southern accent and he's just really happy to see you, and when you get the red flags, an offer that's too good to be true, and he's making money off of it, you can kind of suspect that maybe he's up to something, maybe it's some sort of scam. But I love that they don't portray him as like evil, he's actually super charismatic and a little bit innocent, and he's just a naturally charming character. He's really cool. But the new lady starts to ask a bunch of questions, kind of trying to prod and see what's up, and she says, "Hey, instead of doing this, can I just watch and see what happens?" And the lady who's been there a while and is super on board says, "Yeah, go ahead and watch me. We'll show you how the sin-sucking device works." And they go up there, and as I said earlier, it's quite the setup. It's some, dirty back room full of junk, and again, tubes going into a bathtub, the little meter with the arrow that's gonna flip up and down, and again, the corpse of the most evil man in the world. I love that as a concept. That's just so big and so out there and so over the top, yet something that totally belongs in an anthology horror story. But basically they say that when this guy died, God gave him the power to suck sins out of people. So they have his corpse, you hold its hand, it sucks the sins out of you, and he bulges and bubbles. Yeah, this is kind of Goosebumpsy, but luckily they have a machine. The machine drains the sins out of the corpse and into the bathtub, but you gotta wait a minute, you don't want to overload him with too much sin. What happens when that needle gets to the top? So you gotta let the machine drain him, and again, green slime shoots into the bathtub. This is so so bizarre, and I absolutely love it. But of course the lady's skeptical. Oh, you're falling for this. This is just some sort of scam. You're buying into it too hard. And we learn the lady's a reporter, and I mean, before she said she was a reporter, we knew she was a reporter. It was written in such a way we could tell. And she says, I'm gonna write an article exposing you. And I love that it just doesn't get under the guy's skin. He's like, oh, no, it's great. I'd love to be in the paper. It's cool, but you really gotta try the machine. So that's all going on, and there's a bit of a tension as to how she's going to react to this. But we do get a mysterious drifter character that's shot in this really cool way where you don't see him at first, and you're like, okay, we got a bad guy wandering in here. I don't think he's here for penance. What's going on with this? And we have all these pieces put in the air, and we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, this is a really weird episode, and you think it would be about penance and remorse and moving on, but it's more like we have wacky characters and sin comes out as goo and this guy bubbles up, and yeah, no, it's weird, but I really enjoyed it. Enough classic anthology horror tropes to be familiar and map out your territory, and we're gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna just be a little weird. Yeah, I don't know, this was super fun, so I can definitely recommend it. A bit of a weird highlight, but hey, gotta love the bubbling corpse, right? Yeah, it was super cool. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Monsters playlist. If you guys want to see me review the past episodes of the show, you should be able to find them there. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.